questions for Jordan.
Jordan, 4-2, the game's on the line. That's a kick situation, or has been a lot in the past. What kind of confidence does that give that the coach says we're going for the win and we're going for it now?
Yeah, I mean, it's big time. Obviously, I think, for Matt to decide to go for that right there in that situation, to have that confidence in the offense for us to go make a play, and then for us to go out there and do it. That's one of those decisions that, it's going to suck if we don't get it, but when you do, it pays off like that when we go out there and get the win. So it's big time, big time play by Tuck to go out there and get that, and then obviously to finish it off with a touchdown was huge.
Did he talk to you? Did you talk to him at all during that timeout or before as you came off the field? Or?
No, it was quick. It was I could see us deciding what we were going to do on the sideline, and obviously sent the kick team out, and we were still thinking about it. And Matt ultimately decided that we're going to go for it. So he called that timeout. But that's really just all Matt having that confidence in us.
Is that call designed to go to Tucker, or was it to somebody else that happened to be the one that was open? Or?
Yeah, no, we had two plays called, and the play we ran wasn't designed for Tuck, but we got three options right there. So the first two, they did a good job. They're pretty sticky on those, and Tuck did a great job just going up and being able to win. But it's all one-on-one. It's all man across the board. So somebody's got to go win right there, and Tuck did.
What were the first two? Who were the first two?
Sorry.
The first two options that you had.
It was everybody that was over there. The first two, we had an out, we had a pivot, and then Tuck on the corner.
Coming off the field, you see your field goal unit coming in. How badly in your mind are you wanting to not come off the field and go for that fourth down? What's going to be your mind there?
Yeah, that's a tough one. You're sitting there, you're thinking what the situation is, and obviously 3 points ties it up. But you sit there and you're like, man, there's a lot of time left. So, you'd hate for them to just need to go down there and kick a field goal for the win with that much time and that many timeouts. So, it's obviously it's a tough decision. You don't have a lot of time to sit there and think about it. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that Matt made that decision to go with the offense, and we went out there and executed.
Dontavion goes down. You're already missing guys. 6 points in the first half. Where's the conversation like to begin the second half, and where does that confidence kind of come from?
Yeah, no, I think first half we didn't play great. We didn't play our best. We had just a lot of drives that just stalled. So obviously we had to find a way to keep getting the best plays and keep finding ways to stay on the field. And obviously the conversations at half are were much better than the way we're playing. We need to go out there, help the defense out, and start putting up some points. And we did a better job of that the second half. But it's one of those games where you just got to be resilient. You just got to stay in there, keep finding ways every drive to find a way to go out there and get points, and just stay the course, stay together, and find ways to go win it.
What's it like from your vantage point watching what Mike is doing right now?
Man, it's amazing. I think I can't state enough how fun it is just to have him on this team, and how much of a playmaker he is. In big situations like that, having 3 sacks on the day is big time. So, you can't state enough how much of a playmaker he is. And I think everybody on that defense, the D-line, RG doing his thing, other guys making big-time plays. So it's one of those games where we're just trying to keep finding ways to be as complimentary as possible and keep finding ways to stack it. But, it never gets old winning, so we just got to keep finding ways to keep going.
Jordan, at the end of the first half, you get the ball with 7 seconds left. Are you thinking you're just going to kneel it out? Or did Matt tell you, right away, hey, we're going to try to score here?
Yeah, no, that's one of those. I'm thinking that we're just going to go out there and knee it. And then Matt made that decision that, hey, let's try and get a play off, get a big chunk, bang a timeout, get in the field goal range. So, I'm glad that we did that. That's another situation where he's got that confidence, that trust in us to try and find a way to go put it in field goal range. And then, to make that's a big-time field goal right there at the end of the half. And those 3 points, came back to be so beneficial in this game where, those are those points that you never know, when they're going to come back at the end of the game. And, I think that was a huge way to end the half.
No thoughts of Dallas on that play, or did you approach it differently because of what happened in Dallas?
Yeah, no, there's always thoughts of, the situations that have happened in the past, and you can't let that kind of hinder the decision making to go for it. We're always going to try and be aggressive. I love that. I love to go for it in that situation, and it worked out right there. So that's one where we can go back to the drawing board and say, hey, this is a great situation, a great play to learn from, and keep finding ways to stack it. But Dallas, you got to learn from plays like that and find ways to be better.
Josh not 100% again today. Your thoughts on his performance and the positions that he put you guys in, especially at the end?
Yeah, Josh is a dog. You're going to get his all every time. And obviously, last week he's dealing with an illness. This week he's dealing with a strain, an injury. So, he he's one of those guys that you just know you're going to get his best every time. He loves the game. And he finds ways to make big time plays and kind of just put the team on his back, and that's what he did today.
How much comfort is there anytime you're near the goal line and you know that he's behind you, and just his ability to score? What's that comfort like?
Man, I know we're going to be able to hand him the ball. And he's going to find a way to get in there, and I think that's obviously a big, credit to the O-line as well. They find ways to create holes for him where he can just punch it in. But I think that's kind of the MO of our offense. We find ways to get down there. We're going to hand him the ball and see what he can do and see what this O-line can do.
What was the degree of difficulty on that fourth down throw? It looked like you put a little extra touch on it. Was that just to make sure it was on the money, or did you have to get it over somebody? Or?
No, I mean, it was it's just a one-on-one route with Tuck, and he did a great job just winning. And I think when I got to him, I couldn't tell what angle he was going to be taken out of it because there was a little bit of contact, and he found a way to just win, and I just kind of put it out there for him. But I think that's all Tuck right there. Just going and winning that one-on-one.
Is that why you put a little more on it, was just to give him so he could adjust the ball if he needed to?
Yep, exactly.
Jordan, was there, on that fourth down, was everything clean at the line of scrimmage? It looked like you signaled like somebody to come across, but then Matthew went outside. Like, was that all clean for you, or did that kind of muddle things up?
No, that was exactly the operation for the play right there.
Big plays on defense, kind of a few and far between. You get the strip sack from Gary, that kind of changes the flow of the game, and then the defensive line, the 4th and 1, just kind of allows you guys to go win the game, really. Just speak to what that does for the offense, getting you guys the ball with short fields.
No, it's huge, and I think that's the area that we've been harping on so much throughout the week. Is I think it hasn't been up to the standard that we wanted as defense of finding ways to create turnovers, and it's one of those things that every week we have ball meetings on trying to find ways to come out with turnovers. And what a big time play by RG right there to get that strip sack, and that's when you can play complimentary ball. We get the ball in great field position, got to find a way to go out there and score. But I think anytime the defense can create turnovers, it's going to put us in a great position as an offense. But we just got to find a way as defense to keep going out there, hunting those turnovers, and as an offense, finding ways to keep, not giving the ball up.
That first fourth down throw to Romeo, did that throw need to be flatter, or was that just a miscommunication on your guys' part?
I just missed it. I just missed it just a hair, out in front of him too much. We actually, we got to a play and versus a look we thought they were getting to, and they got to something else. And, Rome did a great job winning, and I just put it out there a little too much for him.
Two more. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Small room in here. Just, I can't say enough about our guys. Just from the moment we got on the trip, nothing seemed to go right. To in game, there was a lot of things that didn't go right, but the guys kept battling, and that's what it takes in this league. And it's encouraging that we haven't played our best ball. Give credit to Arizona. I thought that it was a scrappy team, and we knew that going in. I mean, shoot, they've lost 4 games by 9 points, and then you lose another one by 4. So, but our guys, they're a resilient group, and I'm just really proud of them and really happy for our guys.
Hey guys, real quick, Mike is gonna do it in the locker room, so if you're waiting on Mike to hear, you can be in the locker room.
So then we look like assholes for you.
No, you can go. I don't care. Go ahead. He had a career night. I mean, I don't blame you, Rob.
Feel like a dick.
That's right.
So you, sorry,
Can he say that?
yeah, well, you did.
He did.
You had a really big decision to make there, and you started running out the kicker, you called the timeout. What was going through you? What made you decide to do what you ended up doing?
Well, when our quarterback's coming off and I can see the disdain on his face, you know, and I looked up at the clock, saw how much time was left. It wasn't by any means a chip shot, although Lucas has come in and done a hell of a job. So I just one of those deals where I was like, no matter what we call, this guy's going to make it work. And that's exactly what happened because we had a play called for 1 versus man in candidate versus zone and didn't necessarily get the play that we wanted, but it doesn't matter sometimes when you have guys that have confidence in what they're doing, and Tuck did a hell of a job winning on the route. Our O-line protected, and Jordan gave him a chance, and that's exactly what it took.
Speaking of Lucas, go ahead.
So that was supposed to, that should have been canned, or?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's never perfect, and like give credit to Arizona. This is part of the, I'd say the genius in what they do is they don't give you looks that are easy that you can tell, oh, this is a man coverage look. So they disguise the look well. It wasn't until after we motioned that it was like, oh, it looks like it's man. So give credit to them.
You mentioned Lucas. How big was that sequence at the end of the half? Did a Hail Mary ever cross your mind, or was when you got to a certain yardage just like, oh, send him out?
Yeah, I think if you look at probably, I don't know, I'm sure the analytic guys will love this one, but the probability of us kicking a field goal there versus throwing a Hail Mary, I would say it would heavily be in favor of a long field goal right there. How about that? Franchise record. Unbelievable. Hell of a job.
So when you made that decision to try to get points at the end of the half there, I know I think a lot of people were probably thinking, well, after what happened in Dallas, they won't try that, and yet you did, and you stole 3 points there. What were you thinking? What were you thinking about Dallas? How did that influence you?
Scared money don't make money. So like sometimes you gotta shoot, and when you have confidence in your players, you can't allow something. I realize. I think that was a much different situation where we were on the field in Dallas versus where we were here versus the struggles that we were having moving the football. So, it was a great job by our guys going out there and executing. And if you don't have confidence in your guys, you don't do it. But I got a lot of confidence in our quarterback. I thought our line was doing a pretty good job in protection. I know our receivers can win versus bad leverages, which we had right there. And those guys made a hell of a play.
Matt, you mentioned the decision to kind of go on everything like that. The tone of your guys' calling throughout the game was pretty aggressive. You go for it on 4th down early, you kind of go try and score there. You go for it on the 4th down late. Are any of those trying to spark the team, get things going? At the end, you're trying to win the game, but is there anything that you're trying to do to get them kind of moving as you're?
Yeah, I mean, it was I would say from an offensive standpoint, it was a very frustrating day overall in regards to they did a hell of a job of keeping an umbrella on the defense. There weren't many looks where we could throw the ball down the field. It was one of those dink and dunk type games. Not that we didn't get a couple shots downfield, but they were playing pretty soft and took a lot of things that we wanted to do or that we saw on tape away and just try to make us play perfect, which we were far from perfect. So give credit to them. I got a lot of respect for those guys. Gannon, I think, does a hell of a job. Rollis does a hell of a job. Like, those guys are really good coaches.
Your impressions of what Josh was able to do, obviously not 100% again, and then puts you in some unbelievable spots at the end of the game.
Yeah, because some of those looks weren't the greatest to run into, but he finds a way, and that's what great players do. It's not always the cleanest of looks, but they find a way to get it done. And I would classify Josh Jacobs as a great player.
What do you make of this kicker? And can you make him available to the rest of the league? I mean,
It's a hell of a question, Pete. Yeah, he's answered every challenge that's been put in front of him. We don't win that game without his ability to go out there and make all his tries, his attempts. I mean, a 61-yarder. I didn't envision that going into the game, but he's done a hell of a job.
How much of watching that defensive performance is like, we've got to get some stuff cleaned up, and how much of it is like, oh my God, Micah Parsons?
I'd say that sums everything up, because there's a lot of things that we do have to clean up. The thing that we definitely have to clean up is, you can sit there and talk about it till you're blue in the face in terms of third down. What is an offense going to try to do? They're going to try to draw you off sides. And the fact that we did it twice is really disappointing, because whether or not that one was like, what, 3rd and 23 or 25 or something like that, 27, that's even worse. So they get a free play, and I don't know if Jacoby knew it was a free play or not, but he launched one up, and they get that. I mean, that's a critical situation. We cannot do that. We've done it way too many times. It's trust me, it's preached regularly every day, and we've got to clean it up if we want to become the team that I think we're capable of being. But yeah, just too many undisciplined plays, and that stuff. We're lucky it didn't come back and bite us.
do you do walkthrough in Green Bay, or do you do one like in the ballroom or whatever when you get
We
here?
typically do it when we get here. Obviously got in a little bit later than we'd like to. Quite honestly, it was more on the position coaches to get with their guys in regards to whatever they needed. We did have one meeting, a quick meeting offensively, with our O-line, quarterbacks, running backs, and tight ends in regards to pass protection, and showed them a couple clips of things that we were concerned about going into the game. And then we did a walkthrough. What do you even call that area? Tarmac? Is that what it's called? I'm a football coach, so I don't know what that word means. But so right on the tarmac there, outside, yeah, in Green Bay, as we were sitting there waiting for, I don't know, was it 5.5, 6 hours or whatever it was? So we got them off the plane. We knocked out what we call our openers, and typically we do this at the hotel where we have, a 15-play walkthrough, and it was myself and Steno and our guys, and those guys did a hell of a job. The thing that was so cool about our guys is, like I said, I didn't hear anybody complain the whole time we were sitting there. They were just hanging out, watching ball, enjoying each other's company. And I think that is a mark of – it takes a resilient group to do that. It's easy to want to complain about the situation, but like I told them, the situation's the situation. It really doesn't matter. Everything, all that matters is how you respond to it, and our guys handled it the right way.
Matt, the strip sack by Gary, and then the defensive stop on the 4th and 1. You're probably tired of hearing about takeaways at this point, but that's two really big.
Those are takeaways. I don't care. A 4th down stop is a takeaway, and those were probably two of the most complimentary moments in the game in regards to defensively getting a stop, taking the ball down and scoring on both occasions.
Where do you feel like you are? It's what, 6 games in?
A long way
Offense.
a long way away from being the team that we want to become. So, yeah, it just feels choppy. It's hard. We're not. If teams want to play off and soft, then we got to be comfortable. And I'm talking to myself as much as anybody in regards to throwing shorter passes and you got to slowly matriculate the ball down the field. But we got to get our run game going too, because if people are going to play us in shell and you're not able to run the ball very effectively, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be tough. You're going to see yourself in 3rd and long situations, which we knew going into this game that was going to be critical because this is one of the best in the league in regards to their third down defense. They do a lot of different things. They have a lot of different personnel groupings, going to give you a lot of different looks, and it creates an uneasiness about what you are going to call and then have to go execute.
What do you feel like you have to do better to run the ball better?
I don't know. I think if we knew right now, we'd be doing that. In some regards, I think there's some things schematically. I think it's all of us. It's us as coaches, and then ultimately, there's certain things that we have to execute better. Just in terms of making sure that from an assignment standpoint that we're doing the right things, that we're blocking the right people. Because I do know this. I have confidence in all our runners. I think they're all great. Obviously, Josh he's very special, and if you give them a lane to go hit it, I think they're going to make the right read, the right cut. They're going to make people miss in the open field, and they can really do some damage. But we just haven't done that up to this point.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.